Greetings, ladies and reptiles. This is Jabron of the AlloClaw Productions, and welcome to the next top 5 this Monday. Now, what I'm going to be talking about is going to be a little bit of a different top 5, considering the fact that it might even be a top 10. But it's about 5 different things, and also 5 other different things. If you see what I'm getting here. Top 5 best games and top 5 worst games, and those games happen to be dinosaur games. So we're going to talk about the worst games first, just so we can get those out of the way, and then we're going to talk about the good games. So without further ado, let's get started. Number 5. Coming in at number 5, we have Dino Masters. Now, this is a DS game that came out like a long time ago, and well, it was pretty much the best dinosaur game on the Nintendo DS, I guess. I don't know, but I mean, well, at the time it was until Battle of Giants Dinosaurs came out on DS. But anyways, that's not the point. The point is, this game wasn't only bad for its pixely graphics and whatnot, but also because of the gameplay. The gameplay pretty much is you playing as a tiny man, trying to hunt fossils, and then trying to retrieve them at the same time avoiding enemies. And while you're avoiding the enemies, you have to get the fossils, and it's so annoying because you have to follow along with this line that you make, and it's very annoying, and it's repetitive because it's just not that great. And also, some of the dinosaurs that you reveal after you find the fossils, it's only at random what dinosaur you find. And the percentage chance of you getting it without taking any damage while finding fossils. So anyways, many of the dinosaur stars or stats are completely wrong about some of the dinosaurs. Like, say, Utah Raptor. He has a 1 star in the game, which makes him the weakest, dinosaur of the game, which shouldn't even happen because everybody knows, well, not everybody, but most people know, and like myself, that Utah Raptor was one of the strongest raptors and one of the most ferocious raptors and most dangerous raptors and the smartest. Pretty much the best raptor ever. But someone decided to make him the weakest. And it's not just him, it's many other dinosaurs in the game too. Like Parasaurolophus, which only has a 3 star when he's pretty much the most popular hadrosaur. And I think Triceratops, maybe, but I don't know. And Styracosaurus may be really low or whatever, but that's not the point. The point is, the game is just not that good with what it does, and the combat feels like a little bit like Pokemon, with a mix of Yu-Gi-Oh! Of some sort, of some description, but it's just not that great. The reason why it isn't higher on the list is because I had so much fun with it at that time, but I didn't know any better. So yeah. Number 4. Coming at number 4, we have Jurassic the Hunted. Now, let me explain a bit. Jurassic the Hunted is a good example of a very linear first-person shooter with too many weapons to carry and many dinosaurs to go through with somewhat dumb AI and foldable tails. Now, this game, it's a fairly good shooter, but it's not very good with some of the aiming down the sights, and especially with pistols. So, I mean, it's a good game for its gameplay, I guess, but it is not a good game for its story, its dinosaur models, and its, well, everything else. And, well, the survival gameplay is a little bit fun, but it's also very cheesy the way it's set up. Number 3. Coming in at number 3, we have Orion Dino Horde. Now, let me explain before you guys storm the comments with many things disagreeing on the game. But you feel free to. I'm not stopping you, but here's the thing. Orion Dino Horde is not a good game for some of its expectations, especially with the attack animations from the dinosaurs, the dinosaur AI, the compies that do more damage to you than they should, and the gunplay feels a little slow and server lag. I mean, well, not the frame rate lag, but like the slow lag, server lag. You should know what I mean by that. But other than that, the game is actually pretty fun, which is why it's not any higher on this list. And the reason why it's not any higher on this list, which is the second reason, is because the developers of this game, / Orion Dino Horde / Dino Beatdown, the developers actually apologized for how bad this game was. So, I mean, it is still fun to play, especially, I mean, and you can even laugh at some of the stuff that's wrong with the game, which makes it even more fun. So, yeah, I mean, well, in fact, I probably should have put this second before Jurassic Thunder. Well, whatever. So, yeah, Orion Dino Horde. Number 2. Coming in at number 2, we have Combat of Giants Dinosaurs 3D. Now, I mean, many people actually like this game, but they just don't really know any better and don't know actual gameplay. So, but other than that, I have never seen a game so potentially good turned into rubbish, as the British would say. The game, I mean, yes, there is a, well, run forward sort of esque thing, which makes it a little bit immersive in terms of adventure, but all it is just a straight linear path, especially when playing a good dinosaur game, and it's basically the same game as well, Dinosaur Strike, which was actually pretty good, but this one is just much worse. I mean, the 3D mode is just awful, and the combat is completely unresponsive, and some of the dinosaurs, the enemy dinosaurs, actually seem a bit bigger than your dinosaurs you play as. Like, for example, the Carnotaurus seems a little bigger than the Allosaurus that I played through the game, which was slightly... didn't make sense, because Carnotaurus is actually quite smaller than the Allosaurus. So, there you go. But before I go into number 1, I do have to say this. The reason why this game isn't any higher on this list is because I actually had fun with some of the part of this game. But the entire thing is linear. The combat is broken, and just many other things. So, and it had good graphics. For a 3DS game, it actually had good graphics, so that's why it's not any higher on this list. Number 1. Alright guys, the number 1 worst dinosaur game of all time. Are you ready for this? Some of you may already know what it is. Are you ready for this? The number 1 worst dinosaur game is Jurassic Park the game. Now, only very few people are going to disagree with me on this, but many of you already know that I'm right about it, because this game is an insult to dinosaur games everywhere, and dinosaur lovers, and dinosaur gamers, well, yeah, but all it is an interactive movie with a story that no one cares about, and characters that you don't get connected to, and very stiff animations, bad graphics, and low-quality textures in many areas of the game, and very bad, I mean, a lot of good references, and it's just that have been put in the game, which is sad, and, oh my goodness, the game only barely builds up as towards the end of the game, but all it is just an interactive movie with just a large amount of QuickTime events that that aren't even challenging, like, so hard to the point where it's not even a challenge. I mean, it's not worth playing. This dinosaur game is not worth your time. Alright, now that we've gone through with the top 5 worst dinosaur games, sheesh. Now it's time to get to the best of dinosaur games. Number 5. Coming in at number 5, we have Battle of Giants Dinosaur Strike. Now this game was actually really good. It was better than most Battle of Giants games, and it was for the Wii, which surprised me because many of the Wii's games weren't really all that successful. But this was one of the best looking games on the Wii, and it played great. The story, well, not story, but the adventure mode was a little cheesy because all it was basically an arcade mode, but with like some sort of RPG elements to it. I don't know, but other than that, this is a game that you would play with your friends at a party or something. Like if you wanted to do like a bed or like a I don't know, like a competition or a tournament with your friends. I mean, which would be awesome. And this game would have been more awesome if it was if it had online play. And it would be much higher on the list if it had that as well. Now, the 2 reasons why it's not higher on the list is 1, the arcade mode was a bit cheesy, and 2, Allosaurus wasn't unlockable in the game until someone had to try and find the code for it. Why couldn't the developers just put the code for it down, like, after its release? Allosaurus was a miss in the game until someone finally found the code. I will actually leave the code for the description for those of you who want to play this game. So yeah, there you go. Battle of Giants Dinosaur Strike. Number 4. Coming in at number 4 is actually a game that I played for a bit and haven't noticed much of any dinosaurs really, other than a few raptors and the supposed Tyrannosaurus Rex. It's King Kong. Peter Jackson's King Kong, the game. Now, this is one of the only movie licensed games that was actually really good. It felt immersive. It had that survival feeling, and it had dinosaurs in it. But some creepy crawlies here and there, but which actually gave flavor for the game. And, well, you get to play as King Kong. I would have liked to see more dinosaur-related stuff in the game, which is why it's not any higher on this list. So there you go, Peter Jackson's King Kong. Number 3. Now, many of you are already gonna know that Primal Carnage is on this list, and it is. It's number 3 on the list. And it's a really good, well, multiplayer game for a dinosaur game, because it's one of the only games that you actually get to play a dinosaur in third person. It's that good for a dinosaur game, and it's a really good looking game at that too, except for a few textures problems here and there, but other than that, the game is really great. It has great mechanics for you to choose humans or dinosaurs. I prefer dinosaurs mostly, and what I would have liked to see in the game though was like a single player, which they didn't add, and a more variety of classes and weapons for humans, and different abilities for some of the dinosaurs, and more dinosaur skins, like Allosaurus, for example. Yeah, shoot it! Primal Carnage. Number 2. Coming in at number 2, well, is a game that's, well, the worst looking in this list, but for its time back when it was on PS1, and before any other good console came out, it was actually a graphically good-looking game at its state. Warpath Jurassic Park was a good fighting game, especially when it's a dinosaur game. And this is a game that it has very good responsive combat, and some ridiculous moves that you can pull off a dinosaur, like high kicks and stuff. And as inaccurate as it may be for some of the dinosaurs, height and stuff, it still doesn't matter. The game is still fun as heck with dinosaurs and stuff like that.
Battle 2. Fight!
And as much as not great as the arcade may be, the difficulty spikes there are with some of the dinosaurs, it still is a fun game, but it should not be played alone. Definitely play with a friend or a brother or something, because this game is really fun. And like I said about the Battle of Giants Dinosaur Strike, you could do a competition or a tournament with some of your friends or something. So yeah, we're at Jurassic Park. Number 1. Now coming in at number 1, you guys, are you ready for the number 1 dinosaur game of all time currently? At least until many of the open world dinosaur games come out this or next year. This dinosaur game is number 1 currently, in my opinion, and many people's opinion. Ladies and gentlemen, or ladies and reptiles, Jurassic Park Operation Genesis, or JPOG for short. Now this game, not only did it get everything right, but it's a zoo simulator, sort of, but it's much more fun to play it on the Site B mode, where you can just let the dinosaurs roam free, and so that way it'd be like a real wildlife situation in like dinosaurs and whatnot. But basically, this game is really good with. It's like playing Zoo Tycoon, but except it's way more realistic with some of the dinosaurs, and you can like create a park, and with some of the the only problem is some of the messages that pop up with your like saying like your dinosaur dying or whatever. But other than that, the game is just really really great. It's really all that great. It's just it's the most amazing dinosaur. It's the best dinosaur game currently. That is, unless the other games come out. But the only problem I have with it was that it looked a bit too bright for its green color, and some of the dinosaurs models didn't really look all that great, and so some of the stuff that you could have done in the Site B, and not all dinosaurs were unlockable, but that was fixed with mods. You can mod this game, but it's very hard to do, in which the Genesis expansion project, it spices up this game even more, and many ENB mods too. So I mean, it gives this game more flavor, and the fact that this is one of the first dinosaur games to ever be moddable. Many dinosaur games in the future have the potential to do this as well. So I definitely recommend you get this game. It is an absolutely amazing dinosaur game. It is so good, and I might even do a series on it on my channel, because, well, I have a dinosaur channel. So, yeah, well, that'll be all for my top 5 worst and my top 5 best. So, if you really did enjoy this, please leave a like, and comment, and tell us what your favorite dinosaur game is that should have been on this list. Or tell me some of the worst dinosaur games that should have been on the worst list. So, yeah, tell me those things, and I will see you later, ladies and reptiles.